I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice. Not a game, not a game.
Me. Bam, bam. Me, man.
Not a game.
Slap that like she scored 30.
We talking about sports. I mean, what we even talking about, man? We talking about sports here.
Welcome back to We Talking About Sports, episode 21. Today it's me and Ben Diaz, and we're talking a little MMA action. Ben, we had the card, Colby Covington and Woodley, and Woodley didn't look too good, you know? And Cerrone, he survived that barrage at first and kind of came on late. But the bigger news to me was the Dana White post conference when he talked about Woodley and he talked about Cerrone, and he said, it's time to have a conversation with both these guys. I think they need to retire. What are your thoughts on that?
I didn't see it when the post conference the day of the fight. I kind of just heard about it. Surprised about Woodley, to be honest. I mean, how about just stop feeding him number one contenders, idiot? You know, maybe give him some guys that are in the top 10, but on the lower end of the top 10, maybe top 15. It seems like he's a gatekeeper. He's done fighting for titles. I mean, that fight was just, I think Dana is just saying that because Woodley hasn't won a round in about 25 rounds. So he hasn't won a round in like 3 years, bro. A round, not a fight, a round. And he's been in 5-round fights, but that's the problem. He keeps putting him in 5-round fights with Usman, with Colby, with Burns.
With the killers of the division.
Like, yeah, the guys that are holding titles are fighting for them, and that's just not him. How about you start scheduling him the way that you're scheduling Donald Cerrone, you know? And let's see, you know, with guys that are kind of scared of him, because up there, nobody's really scared of him. I mean, not that maybe guys in the top 15 are going to be scared of him, but I mean, it's not necessarily title contender. So I know Woodley's not retiring. I mean, he said he wasn't retiring. I think he said it that Monday right after the fight. He said that he's not retiring. The Cerrone one, I can actually agree with. I think everybody's, oh, wow, what a nice catch, Gesicki. I think everybody's been saying that Donald Cerrone's been done. I mean, he also hasn't won a fight in some time now as well. So I agree with that one.
Shoulder, you know.
Yeah, I agree with that one, but I don't like him going out on a draw. So I'm not gonna like book him a retirement fight. Let's not call it here. Maybe even the rematch. Give him the rematch against Nico. I was surprised he made it out of the first round, man. He took some shots. He was able to eat them, and
he did.
He looked good in the later rounds. I agreed with the draw. I really couldn't tell you who won that fight. So I mean, run it back and make it a retirement fight. But I agree with that one.
Or, you know, maybe if you don't retire Cerrone now, I think that Cerrone wants the rematch with Nico. Nico wants the rematch. Give him that rematch, and then you still got fights for Diego Sanchez. He has 4 fights left in his career.
He is
Cerrone is a guy that can be a hype fight that, you know, neither guy gets, you know, murked, and it saves brain cells for both guys.
I think Cowboy would murk Diego. I think he would.
He would definitely win.
Diego's
but
fighting a whole way lower class than what Cowboy's fighting right now. I mean,
yeah.
And he's a minus 800. Like Matthews is minus 800 against Diego Sanchez this weekend. But we'll get to that later. But yeah, I think it's all about booking, man. I think it's all about booking. Like, you know, Cowboy went down another level fighting Nico Price. Nico Price is, you know, borderline top 15. If he can get a, you know, streak of 2 knockouts going, you know, he can jump into the rankings or something, but he's not a consistent top guy if he doesn't get the finish. But those are the types of guys that you need to book Cowboy against because they could still be exciting fights. You know what I mean? And Cowboy can look good, but just it's all about booking fights, man.
So let's talk Diego Sanchez. You know he's not going to get the Conor book that he wants. He came out today saying, I gave up on my championship dreams, but I still want legend fights for my last fights. And my last fight, I would like to fight Conor. You know what that's for. That's just the money fight, wants the paycheck. That's what he's looking for. Where would you book a guy like that after if he gets, let's say he gets put out by Jake Matthews? Do you even give him the rest of his fights on his contract?
I think Diego has said that the end is pretty near as well. Well, I think he did say he was going to fight out his contract. I think that they would let him fight out his contract. I do. Maybe. I mean, I don't know Woodley's contract situation. I doubt that he's a free agent because they would have already been free agent talk. But for Dana to be pushing those guys at retirement, or maybe he just doesn't want to pay them the 150 or 200 that he gets to show with the performances that he's been making. I'm not sure, but yeah, interesting weekend of fights. The card was all right. It was all right. I had bigger expectations for it.
Well, let's talk about Khamzat. GM3 just ate it with one.
He needs to, I heard a lot of people saying that he should fight Neil Magny. I think that they need to scrap that Damian Maia fight. I mean, that's a name under his belt, but he needs octagon time, bro. He needs time in there so people can get a good look at like the total package at what he looks like after he's been hit or in late second round, which he hasn't been to. We got to get a good look because people are already saying, put him up against Colby, put him up against this guy, or it's an even fight. It's a pick 'em fight against Colby. And I think that that's pretty crazy. I mean, as much as everybody hates Colby, the output is crazy, and he has just been getting better since he was just a pure wrestler. Now he's actually letting his hands go. But the hype is big. Hopefully he's fighting here soon within the next month. I mean, what was it, 13 seconds to fight? You could tell, though, that Mearshart wanted nothing to do with him, bro. Like,
he didn't try to get up.
No, but I'm saying, like, even before that, like, the way he was just backing up automatically, like, he looked like he was scared as hell. I think with all that talk of, if I submit you give step down from being a black belt, this and that, because Mearshart's a black belt and he had been subbed several times, not several, more than 5 times. So he was just in his head big time. And you could tell as soon as the fight started, he looked terrified. So I'm interested. I want somebody like Magny, maybe somebody like Luque for Hazmat, but definitely not Damian Maia, bro. And they booked Mike Perry against Robbie Lawler. I know Mike Perry was another option, but he would kill Mike Perry. I mean, he would just take Mike Perry down and smash him. But I think
too big for Mike Perry.
I think that Luque or Magny will be able to get a good gauge of where this guy is actually at. Because right now, yes, it is all championship aspirations. But let's be real, he hasn't fought anybody yet. He's doing what he's supposed to. He's smashing.
Yeah. And the thing with him is they're not really having to put too much of the machine behind him. He's kind of bringing that machine himself, self-promoting.
Yeah.
Kind of funny with his press conferences. He's taking advantage of every opportunity he gets when it comes to media. And it's looking good for him. With a little gas from the UFC, I could see him becoming a big star. At least.
He just has to beat some names. Beat some names. I mean, beat Luque, bro. I mean, you beat Luque, then you're getting a top. If you like, right now he's on the Francis Ngannou route to the title. Right now, and if he beats Luque and then gets a fight against Leon Edwards, maybe the loser of Usman and
Burns.
Somebody, one of those guys after beating a guy like Luque or Magny, somebody that's in that 6, 7, 8 range, but not Damian Maia.
Okay, so we talked about Woodley having to go to the gatekeeper. Would Woodley be too much for him now?
I think he would just be going. He would do the same thing that all these other guys have done. He would just put the pressure on Woodley, have Woodley backing up the whole time. Woodley.
You don't like that for Woodley either.
Nah, I don't like that for Woodley.
And that's I feel like you're kind of protecting Woodley here. I know you're not the.
No, I'm just saying we don't need him fighting all these. That's another hype train, bro. What if that guy really is top 3? Because
I'm just saying. Normally, you would be feed Woodley to the wolves, but not today. There's something different about you and Woodley.
That's all that's been happening. Like we know what happens when But if Woodley's fighting the 1, 2, or 3 guy, like let Woodley fight Luque. I would like to see that.
Okay.
I think that Woodley could put on a really good fight against somebody like Luque, because Luque likes to get hit too.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've heard about Nick Diaz coming back, right? That's something you've heard.
That'd be another good fight. I would like Woodley against Nick Diaz. That's a great fight.
You know who wants Nick Diaz too?
Who's that?
The legend Diego Sanchez.
Damn, I think
He
Nick
wants all
Diaz,
the fights, bro.
Yeah, but Diego. Diego sounds like Diego wants to get his ass whooped. Is what he's saying. He's like, yo, finish me off. Make my brain spaghetti.
Yeah. Well,
Crazy.
You know what? I think he's just trying to secure the bag for his daughter. Is what it really comes down to. That's what it is.
Yeah, but we got to be realistic. I mean, not that anything right now with Diego Sanchez is very realistic, but that he's not going to get one of those fights.
All right. Did you take anything else away from the card? Or what about the Kevin Holland fight? Think he really won that, or do you think that was questionable?
I thought it was a toss-up. I thought that could have been called a draw too. I didn't think that it was. Wasn't it unanimous or was it split?
I think it was unanimous for Holland, which I don't see. I know he said he went up to Dana White and said he would like to run it back because he didn't feel like he won that.
Yeah, I didn't feel like he really won that fight convincingly. I thought when it went to the decision, I thought it was pretty up in the air.
The one that I was most disappointed was in Ryan Spann. Comes out heavy,
oh, man.
And then he just shoots and dude.
I mean, how did he not knock him out?
I don't know, man. I don't know what his thought process was.
Shooting
taking him to
takedown?
the ground and staying there.
Like
you're getting elbows to the head. Get up. You already got him rocked.
But it only took one, bro. He got elbowed once, and that was like once, and he fell kind of face planted a bit. But I mean, anytime that he was touching Walker standing up, Walker was falling. I don't understand. That's because he's with Saif Sayud and those guys in Dallas. Like, I don't think that was a part of the plan. And he stormed out of there pissed, saying it was an illegal shot. But, I mean, that was a clean shot. And that one of those elbows from Johnny Walker is going to do that to a lot of people. Not necessarily just one, but with some follow-ups. That's dangerous, bro. And it's just dumb to shoot the takedown and leave your head there.
Yeah, absolutely. The other fight that we didn't cover was Randa Marcos and Mackenzie Dern.
Yeah.
Easy work for Mackenzie Dern. She went to the ground and
it was like a clinic.
Get you.
It was like, yo, let's see how many submissions I can attempt in a one round. And man, it was slick. It was slick, and the way that she ended up submitting her was pretty dope as well. She looked comfortable. I mean, that's the best we've seen of Mackenzie Dern, I would say, for sure.
Agreed. Well, that's it for last week's card. We got the lineup for this week. It's UFC Fight Night. No, it's UFC Pay-Per-View 253. Adesanya versus Costa, and we're back to Fight Island. Yeah. We'll have a guest taking the picks with us soon. So just give us a... All right, welcome back to We Talking About Sports. We're about to cover the UFC Pay-Per-View. We got a guest today covering the fights. This is Ryan Rexa. Ryan, tell us about yourself.
What's going on, man? I've been a good friend of Ben's for a little bit now. He was fortunate enough to be a roommate with me in high school in Mississippi.
Rexa held my pocket when we were in Mississippi and Virginia. like Teabag in Prison Break. You know how he
I was about to say he did put me on that show. But yeah, man. Then we got to Virginia and we just been kicking it ever since. And this fool's been trying to talk sports with me ever since, so it's all good.
There you go. All right, Ben, lead us through this MMA card, man.
Hey, don't sprain your ankle while we're talking MMA right now, all right? Let's try and stay safe. But anyways, man, let's get into this. Rexa, you've been doing the pick'em contest with us for about 2 months now. So good to have you on here making picks with us. We'll see what goes into you making your picks now. We'll get a little preview into that.
It's all about the beard, you know?
Oh, it's all about the beard for you.
Gabby.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, let's get into it, and let's start with the main event. Let's get to the big fight right off the bat. In the middleweight division for the championship, we got the champ Israel, the last style bender Adesanya, 19-0. Minus 182 favorite. So he is a betting favorite right now, a little under 2-1. And the challenger, Paulo Borrachina, the eraser, Costa, plus 150 underdog, and he's coming in at 13-0 also. So battle of the undefeateds, man. And this fight's been brewing. This fight's been brewing for some time now. These two guys have been jawing back and forth at each other. After their fights, they'll be in the stands whenever each other fights. The last two fights, so I'm excited for it. Right off the bat, I mean, how do you all feel about this fight?
I feel like you definitely should be excited for this. It's definitely one of the battle of the undefeated. It hasn't gone down since the Holly Holmes and the Ronda Rousey fight. It hasn't gone down since the Machida and the Rashad Evans fight. So it's not fluff. They're definitely gonna be a good fight. I would kind of leaning towards Costa. I wasn't gonna say it, but I kind of am. I think Style Bender's kind of getting a little too Hollywood right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I don't think he's that focused. I know he's been
he's,
out.
He's all about the looks. It seems like right now, dying his head. And he got the little OBJ earring and shit going on now too. You see that?
He's doing a little anime T-shirts and whatnot. I mean, the pink hair. I don't know, man. I think
I honestly don't mind seeing him get knocked out, bro. I mean, I could dig it. I could dig it. Like,
I mean, I respect Whitaker.
I would be spitting some shit after that, bro. Oh, you skinny boy, skinny guy.
he might do another 3 count like Masvidal, get on the mat.
Oh yeah.
Hey, honestly, we could see that if one of these guys finishes, the celebration could be pretty wild. And honestly,
deservedly so if one of them finishes each other.
Yeah, I think that we are going to have a finish.
I don't think it's going to decision. I definitely think there's going to be a finish. I hope it's Costa, but I mean, it's going to be a good fight. I think it's going to be fireworks. I don't think it's going to be the same as the last one with Adesanya and Romero. The dancing around.
He's had a couple of boring fights. He's been going to a couple of decisions. Aside from, I mean, the Gastelum fight definitely was not boring.
No.
And neither was the Whitaker one, but. That's the thing. Adesanya is a counter striker, so he needs the guy to, force the action for him to react to it. And Yoel Romero, I mean, we all thought that that's what we were going to get, but he wasn't really with it because he knew that that's Adesanya's style. So he wanted to make. It was a weird fight. It was, and the other one was the Silva one. Like, how weird was that one? Also,
yeah,
it was like the two Spider-Man just staring at each other. Like, that
he's a smart fighter in and out the ring, I think. So I think he's definitely playing to his strength where he's gonna do his film on the fighter and know, I can do this moves, I can't do these moves, and definitely whatever style he's going, he's gonna adapt and adjust. He's not just a one-tone fighter. So that being said, with Costa, he's definitely a Romero type. He's gonna be in his face. He's gonna be pressuring him. So he's gonna stand back and try to do all those counters, or is he gonna, back up all the hype and all the trash talk he's doing?
I really think it's gonna end in the first round, man. I really think the fight ends in the first round. I think I think that Costa is just gonna go forward, and I don't think that Izzy's gonna withstand the blitz. Costa would smash Kevin Gastelum, bro, if they fought.
Yeah, for sure.
It would be bad. And even Costa's fight with Romero, he took it to Romero. You know what I mean? He wasn't forcing that. The one thing, the fight's not going to be boring because of the styles. This is the perfect clash. You get the counter striker who's good at slipping out and, hitting guys with shots from weird angles. And you got Costa, the jacked brute, who just knows forward and he swings and he works the body and then he comes up top, man. I have Costa. I'm going with the dog in this fight. I like the energy that he brings. I love that his coach, that one coach that did the interview with Ariel this week, he said, "Oh, brother, we are from the jungle, brother. We don't need security, brother. We from the Brazilian jungle, brother." He says, "We're not Hollywood like Adesanya, skinny guy, man. Skinny guy."
I feel it.
I'm with Team Borrachina on this one, man. Who are you rolling with, Just?
I'm going Costa. So got 2 bets for this weekend, and Costa's in both of them. So let me just say I'm pretty heavy on this.
You're confident, bro.
I'm confident on this one. The fight will not be boring. You're going to see Costa push forward and push forward. My hope is that Izzy cannot survive the barrage in the first round or the second. I'm a little worried if he gets to the 4th and 5th, that's where Izzy can take over. The gas tank's looking a little bit better, probably on his side. just because I haven't seen Costa go 5 rounds. I did see him go 3, and he's kind of looking a little tired in that 3rd round with Romero. So I'm hoping it's get done early. Like you said, Costa, he doesn't just headhunt. The dude goes to the body. You start putting your hands up to protect your head. He goes in for the body shot, and he'll hit you with a body shot that'll knock you down too. So I think Costa's gonna get it. And a lot of people don't talk about Costa, but the thing is, he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu as well. So if it does happen to go to the ground, that's also his element. So I like that for him too.
Do you see it hitting the ground at all?
I don't see it on Eve because it's a kickboxer versus a guy who's got that heavy barrage of strikes.
Yeah.
But just in case,
It'd be rowdy if you like dropped him and got him with some rowdy ground and pound. I see him finishing, bro. I really see him finishing. I do.
I can't believe he's this much of a dog. I really can't. But because when a guy like Gastelum who can throw, he was rocking Izzy.
Yeah.
And
the metrics,
I don't think Whitaker's head was all the way there. You look at the fight with the legend Spider. Spider got him on some too. So it's like he's definitely someone you can get. I think Romero, if he would have pushed, he could have got him, but he just chose not to.
Do you think that there's any factor of either guy being in either guy's head? Like, do you think that Izzy is gonna?
Izzy's definitely trying. He's definitely trying to be in the head, but I think Costa's calm. I love his camp. He's got Cejudo there and those guys. That's a good team. And the coach Eric Basadine,
the captain,
Captain America. That's a good team.
They've had some champs, like you said, with Cejudo.
This is a little weird to say. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's gonna happen in the first round, but I can definitely say, like, judging on the whole fight, you'll be able to tell what's gonna happen in the first round. I know that's kind of like a sellout, but
no, that's not. That's fair. I agree.
I mean, if it's not a knockout, I know it is. I mean, we'll get to see, obviously, a lot. We'll get to see what games that Adesanya is going to play. I mean, you already know what Costa's game is going to be. It's just going to be straightforward. I'm being your face. And we'll get to see what Izzy's bringing, So, yeah, I'm definitely excited. It's going to be a great fight.
I agree. Well, let's get to the co-main, man. We got another title fight. The GOAT said, I've had enough of the light heavyweight division. I'm moving up to heavyweight. You peasants fight for my scrap. So we got we got in the light heavyweight division for the vacant championship, Dominic the Devastator Reyes, 12-1 with that one loss being to John Jones. So he's a minus 286 favorite. The comeback on John Blachowicz, 26-8 his record, and he's plus 230. So Reyes, I think rightfully the favorite with what we've seen from him so far. What do y'all think about the way the fight is lying? Do y'all think that it should be closer? Is Reyes? He's close to a 3-1 favorite. Do y'all think that's like warranted here?
I think it's warranted coming off his last fight with Jones. I mean, arguably he could have won that fight. Some people had it one way, some people had it the other, but I mean, so you're almost giving this guy basically a champion, calling him a champion versus a number 12 contender. I mean,
well, not number 12. Blachowicz, I believe, is number 3.
Okay,
but he's a number 3 contender. So he's coming off of knocking out Corey Anderson, John Blachowicz.
Corey Anderson, yeah, on a fight night card, right?
Yeah, the main event in which Anderson was a favorite as well. So Blachowicz is used to being a dog. I mean, he's won. He has fights over Rockhold. He has wins. He has a win over Jacare. He has that win over Corey Anderson. His last loss was to Thiago Santos in February of 2019, and we know that Santos had a really good fight with John Jones as well. Equivalent to Reyes. I mean, that one was really close. So we saw John Jones kind of look normal, and he stepped away from the division, kind of said, I've accomplished everything I need to here.
Would you feel he's almost looks like he doesn't win this fight after how much he pressured that, he deserves this rematch and, I won the fight? And
I think that it's his to lose, man. I think that Reyes, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Like,
so if he loses, he's kind of almost going to look foolish though, right?
Oh yeah, but he also hasn't been talking as much leading into this fight camp. He's been pretty quiet. After John Jones left, he kind of shut up.
Yeah.
They were all just jawing at John Jones. I mean, amongst each other, I don't know that there's much beef between these guys, if any. But I just think that Reyes is a faster guy. Jan might have more power, but I mean, if Reyes hits him with that left hand, John's big ass head, he could put him out. And I think Reyes is going to get him out of there. I think maybe third or fourth round, Reyes will get him out of there. So I'm gonna go with Reyes on this one.
Yeah, I'm going Reyes too. I mean, I want to go with Blachowicz, but just because he's a Polish fighter, I mean, you got to represent the Polish.
He could be the second Polish champion.
I know
Y'all's girl.
Joanna.
Still holding the nickname Joanna champion, even though she ain't had a belt in years.
I mean, but still, I mean, I would like to see him win, but I don't see it. I see Reyes just definitely pulling this one out. I think it's going to be actually kind of an easy victory for him too.
Yeah. Justin?
Well, I don't really like the odds on the fight, but I agree with Reyes should win. It's going to be a knockout. I think it could be as early as the second round. I could see.
Yeah, I was gonna say late second, early third.
And like Orion said, it looks bad if Reyes doesn't get this win for everything that he talked about Jones and whatnot. And maybe with a convincing win, you can lure Jones maybe back for another fight. Maybe. If it's that convincing.
Jones has his eyes set on a heavyweight title right now.
And I agree. I've seen him putting in the work on Instagram, but I'm just saying, if you really just go out, demolish John Blachowicz, maybe you can lure him.
But maybe he could just run this division for a bit, because I mean, with a line like this, they're pretty much saying this is yours to win, bro.
So let's hypothetically Reyes wins. Who does he get next?
The winner of Santos and Glover.
Yeah, Glover's on that last run, man. He's been stopping some dudes training out of his garage and shit. We don't know what's going on in that garage. But seems like everybody's on Reyes here. All right, maybe we'll have some difference in opinion with this fight. We're going down to the flyweight division, the little dudes. This one should be fun. We got Kai Don't Blink Kara France, 21-8, coming in as a minus 240 favorite, versus Brandon Raw Dog Royval, with an 11-4 record, plus 180 underdog. Creative nickname, Raw Dog, and Don't Blink.
Raw Dog.
I don't know. Don't Blink. Don't blink for Kara France. I don't know what we're gonna miss. Most of his fights have been going to decision.
Yes.
So I mean, brother, we gotta blink in 15 minutes, man. I ain't never heard of a staring contest that lasted 15 minutes ever. Kara France. So we're gonna have to blink in your decision fights, brother.
I don't know why they're hyping up. I mean, his last 4 fights, 3 of them that he won were all decision, and they're drawn out. I mean, they're not super exciting. I mean, he
comes in with that camp though. He's a part of Adesanya's camp of that kickboxing. So they have like 4 guys fighting in this card. So that's why they get the push, because they're in that camp with Adesanya. They always fight on the same cards.
So you got France last 4 fights. 3 of them were won by decision, and then you got my boy Raw Dog last 4 fights. 3 of them were won by submission. I mean, I'm gonna have to go underdog on this one, man.
He comes to fight, definitely. Like you said, Kara France had that unanimous decision win against Tyson Nam his last fight. Tyson Nam's actually on a little winning streak right now. He's 2 knockouts like in 3 weeks. He's had, but Kara France was supposed to fight Alex Perez, who's like ranked number 3 in the division back in March, but that one got canceled. And this dude, he's pretty much a point fighting kickboxer. City Kickboxing is his gym. He's just a point fighting kickboxer. He had power maybe fighting regionally, but here in the big show, he really doesn't have that much power in this division. I mean, I don't think that he has a finish in the UFC. And it's a smaller weight class. Like, what's cool about these fights are all their scrambles. Like, I mean, it gets rowdy. It's like a tumbleweed when the dudes are transitioning back and forth. But a little bit about Brandon. He trains out of Factory X. So a good gym. His last fight was against Tim Elliott, and it was a submission. Tim Elliott is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, I believe, but kind of washed. So, I mean, good win, but Tim Elliott isn't much competition now. But this dude is riding a 3-fight winning streak into this fight. And like we said, good. Like Ryan said, he's good at submissions. Most of his victories or finishes are by submission. So I do like his fight style. I expect it to be a more exciting fight because of Brandon Roval's fight style, but I still expect Kai Kara-France to point fight him and end up getting a decision.
Just point pick him.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the favorite. But I mean, I hope that if Royval can get him to the ground and just take his back, he could finish it, but he's not going to beat him standing up. And at 135, it's just hard to keep your opponent on the ground, consistently at that weight class.
A little scrappy weight class, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just what you got?
I think on this fight is going to be the only win for City Kickboxing this night.
Damn.
It's going to be Kai Kara-France. It's going to be a decision. It's going to go to 3 rounds. And I don't see either guy getting dropped. I see a lot of it being through kickboxing, stand up the whole night on these fights right here. So give me Kai Kara-France on this one.
All right.
So basically, Rexo's 3-0 right now. You guys are 2-1. All right, I'm feeling it.
All right, we'll see if your fantasy football team goes 3-0 this weekend, bro.
Man, I already handled you. You can't talk.
Hey, all this dude does is text me, have my jersey ready. Like if ain't nobody else 2-0 in the league, bro. What jersey are you gonna want, Rexa?
So
your boy Drew Brees?
No. Marcus Colston. Or maybe a San Fran Neon Dion.
San Fran, come on, man. This dude, he's got too many teams. I'll tell you that.
I mean, I like players, but my team's the Saints. But Colston was definitely one of my favorite players, so it's probably gonna be Colston. But just have it ready.
Hey, Rex, this past Saturday, we got together with some friends, right? I believe it was Sunday, and I told the story about where in Virginia we went to the Buffalo Wild Wings that one day. And you didn't even make it to kickoff, bro. But I called you and I was like, yo, where the hell you at? And you were like, I'm at home. I went to the Circle K and I bought a bunch of scratchies. And you're like, and I didn't win. I'm drunk, so I just came home.
I mean, we used to definitely start at like 7:30, 8 a.m.
Yeah, like 8 a.m. Because over there, the games, they started earlier, right? Over here, they start at noon. Over there, I believe they started at 11, or did they start at 1?
No, Virginia, they still started at 1. We just
they started at 1. Over here for us, they started.
Y'all just starting early.
Yeah, so it was a longer. Yeah. It was a longer tailgate. It was a longer pregame.
But over here on the West Coast, man, 10 o'clock. Whew, you gotta wake up early to pregame. Call games at 9.
Yeah, that's awesome though. You just wake up, eat a little breakfast, and then boom, the game. It's like they're playing in London every week when you're on the West Coast.
Heck yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, all right, well, let's get into these last 2 fights. We'll go a little bit quicker on these kind of quick hitters. Another featherweight division fight. We got Hakeem Dawodu, 11-1-1. He's an even plus 100 coming into this fight against Zubaira, the Warrior Takugov. Yeah.
Something like that.
19-4-1, a minus 121 favorite. Yeah, this fight, I think that both guys are, I think they're pretty even. I think the fight's going to take place standing up. Takugov, the Russian, Zubaira, the Russian.
Call him the Warrior.
You can do it.
His name's the Warrior.
I ain't calling him the Warrior, man. I ain't calling his last fight. He likes to throw a lot of spinning stuff. He got like a spinning back fist to win his last fight. But Hakeem Dawodu, he is a Canadian fighter. Canadians really don't have that great of resumes if their name isn't GSP in the UFC. But I'm going to go with him to win a stand-up fight here in this fight. Zubaira, I don't think that he's going to try and take it to the ground. And if he does, Dawadu's pretty strong and athletic to keep it standing. So I expect him to win a decision standing up. So I'm going to go with the short underdog here.
I don't got much to put on this one. I don't really know too much about either. So I'm just going to go with the Warrior. I'm not going to try to butcher his name. You did, but
That's lazy, Rexa. That's lazy.
it is. I mean,
I'm gonna go with Akeem on this one. 11-1. Just there's not a lot on him that I've seen to be like, oh, I got to go with him. And there's not a lot in the Warrior that I like either. It's a toss up for me. I wouldn't bet on this personally. Just gonna go with Akeem for now.
All right, and in the last one, we got in the women's division. This is the first fight of the pay-per-view card. We got Caitlin Phenomenal Vieira with a 10-1 record, coming in as a -177 favorite against Sijara Sarge Eubanks with a 6-4 record +140. And Eubanks fought about 2 weeks ago, I believe, the same card as Montefiore. I think
September
it was
12th.
Yeah, she fought to a decision. Yeah, she fought to a decision there. So pretty quick turnaround. And I saw the embedded, and she was like telling her coach, like, "Oh, thank God that you or whoever the hell went over there with her." But like they're treating it like a vacation. It seems like they're living it up. Like they're at the pool every day, chilling, and I don't think that she struggles to make weight or any of that shit. So they kind of like, damn, this is dope. And obviously, but for some people, it's a business trip. And for Vieira, I just think that it's a business trip. So I'm going to go with her in this one to get a pretty convincing win, I would say.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with Vieira. I mean, she's just a little bit more seasoned, 10-1. I mean, she's got a couple KOs on her belt, a couple submissions. Not even half of her fights went to decision. So she's got a pretty good finish rate. I mean, Eubanks is kind of still new. I mean, sometimes the fighter who goes out there not looking to do much but just have fun ends up doing good. But
in the women's division, you can kind of do that because they really don't put anybody out. Like if they finish, it's a rear naked choke or an armbar in the women's division.
But yeah, if I'm going for a pick, I'm gonna definitely do Vieira. I think. I mean, I'm gonna throw it out there. Third round submission. It's happening.
Third round armbar or knee lock. Omoplata.
Rear naked choke. Write it down. It's happening.
I thought you were gonna say flying triangle. The flying squirrel. Remember that wrestling move? They did like a highlight. The dude did the flying squirrel. It's like a Wisconsin wrestler doing the fucking flying squirrel.
That was your favorite.
But all right, man, that's dope. We'll just close it off with what fight are you looking most forward to, and where are you gonna watch the fights, Rexha?
I'll probably order it here at the crib. I got some family in. My wife's got her mother and her boyfriend in right now, so we'll probably grill out. Got the West Virginia game going on at noon versus OK State. Start to take domination over the Big 12.
Against
Texas
who?
ain't gonna do it.
OK State?
Oh no,
OK State.
No, you're wrong on that one this year.
Yeah, buddy. So we're gonna probably watch that game, drink a little bit, lead up, start grilling out around late afternoon, and then get ready for these fights. But I'm definitely gonna have to go with the headliner, the Costa Adesanya. I mean, it's been hyped up for a while. I mean, everybody's looking forward to this. Not only like fans, but analysts and everything. So I think it's gonna live up to it, and that's definitely the fight of the night for sure.
Yeah, you, Justin, what fight are you looking forward to the most?
Main event, no doubt about it. I'm not a big Adesanya guy, and I've been wanting to see someone who can match him. And I think they trained Dorell's here, and I want to see it.
Y'all have the Magic Johnson takes, like the most obvious shit. Like I'm gonna go with the.
It's just it is warranted.
I'm gonna go with the Diego Sanchez fight, bro, because I want to listen to that corner. I want to listen to that corner audio that Coach Justin, whatever the hell his name is.
That would be like number 3.
Excited with his stretches in the airport. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I saw that.
That was hilarious. He said,
this is the school of motion or whatever stuff.
Yo, and his coach had like his hands
full of movement
behind his back, like lean like that. I'm ready. I want to see that. I want to see that.
That fool was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, my man.
Diego Sanchez
sir.
has been an underdog in his last 4 fights, and he's 3-4 in those 4 fights.
But has he ever been this big of an underdog? I mean, minus 800 on the other kid.
Yeah, it's a lot. I think Mickey
Hey,
Gall was like minus 4 or 500 against him though too, bro.
Can we say it's all about the coach then?
Yeah, hey, the coach might be the difference. Remember though, he did get that DQ because he said, "No, I can't see" or some shit.
Oh,
got
when
like-
he got hit in the head.
He got kneed. And he
Who was
said,
that against?
He said, "Can I talk to my coach?" It was against Pereira.
Michael Pineda.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to the nightmare.
I don't know if he's so much a nightmare anymore, but
Not no
it
more.
definitely will be entertaining.
All right, bro. Well, thanks for joining us, Rexa. We appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, man. Pray for my man to get off the injured list.
Michael
Yeah,
Thomas?
I mean,
I
it's
haven't
clear
heard-
that Drew Brees he needs him. So
Yeah.
Yeah, Drew Brees can't throw past 10 yards. That's the problem, partner.
I'm actually gonna say I'm kind of interested to see. We have all these young, fast receivers on the squad, and they throw James Winston in there. That man can slang it. I mean, just saying. I wouldn't mind seeing him.
Sling it to the other team, baby.
Hey, it's a possibility, but I mean,
He's gonna
it
have
might
to
be-
take an injury, man, because y'all paid Breeze
Yeah,
too much.
yeah. Next year, I mean, if he can get some good lessons from Breeze and some good mentorship, I think. I mean, he's gonna end up being a decent quarterback. I think.
Yeah, it
think
could
so
be
too.
viable. That's true. But all right, bro. Appreciate you, man. Have a good weekend.
All right,
Thank you,
guys,
man.
man. Be talking
Later.
Saturday. Peace.
All right, hit us up. Welcome back to We Talking About Sports. As you see, we got the guest Ron here. PVT Sports. Yes, sir. Ron, I've been seeing you posting plays on Facebook and them coming through. Are you 2 for 2 on NBA? Is that right?
2 for 2, baby. 2 for 2. I took the overs in the Lakers game, and I took the overs in the Celtics and Heat game last night, bro.
All right, that's good. Well, you know what? I heard you were a little disgruntled about the MVP race.
You're gonna get me started early, Justin.
We're
You're
here
gonna
for
get
the
me started
theatrics.
early.
When Ron comes on the show, we want the theatrics. So tell us
Put
about it.
fireworks. Put fireworks.
That's what we're here
The
for.
Macho Man is in the building.
Woo! I'm like the cream, baby. Rise to the top. You
Hey,
like that one,
so-
Justin?
I love
know
it.
Justin's
I
a wrestling
love
fan.
it.
So Giannis wins the MVP in a landslide, man. LeBron got pretty pissed. You know, he said,
18 votes or 16 votes.
16
Disrespectful.
votes, 16 votes, and he repeated some sentiments that have been said by some guys in previous years about the media creating a narrative and them just kind of running with it for the year, which is pretty crazy because I think that a lot of the media's narrative has been around Kobe, the Lakers, LeBron, kind of how they're going to do it for him. So I don't necessarily agree that with that the media, made a narrative this time. I just think that if you look at the numbers, Giannis, it's a regular season award. We can't lose sight of that. And that's one thing my brother told me, Leo, and talking with him, he's like, I mean, bro, it's a regular season award. I know that he got bounced in the playoffs, but that's what Finals MVP is for. It's for the top dog in the playoffs. This is a regular season award. We've seen guys win it that don't win championships when they win the award. So, I mean, it's not the first time. But, I didn't disagree with it when we had our predictions prior to the bubble. That's where most of us had it going, I think, except for you, Justin.
I thought it should be.
But I know Ron had LeBron winning it also, right?
Yes, man. Yeah, I did. I mean, obviously, I'm going to be biased. I'm a LeBron fan. I mean, everybody knows that. But as far as the media generating the narrative, you're right. It was all Kobe, Lakers, LeBron getting AD. It was just Lakers. And in previous years, I felt it was, they're pushing Giannis, the Greek freak, so I was like,
Curry. But I really didn't feel that Giannis had a push this year. I really didn't feel that there was that big of a narrative around him.
Right. That's why I'm saying in previous, like when he won it last year, everybody was like on the Giannis train. So when he won it, it was kind of like, okay, the media pushed it also. So this year, when it's like Lakers and LeBron, you kind of felt, okay, LeBron's going to take it, because all the attention. And then he only gets 16 votes. So that's what kind of threw everything off, is there wasn't a lot of media attention on Giannis this year, and then he wins it. So not that he came out of nowhere, because everybody knew that he was going to be in the top 3 regardless.
Yeah.
But I don't think it should have been as clear cut as it was to only get 16 votes. And Stephen A even came out on First Take and said, hey, I have a vote. I'm one of the ones that has a vote, and I voted for LeBron. And I mean, Stephen A is one of the top ranked guys, whether you like him or you don't, because he's so crazy. I mean, the guy knows his shit. So if Stephen A says it, I mean, that's got to bring a lot of weight.
Big. You're
Come
crazy,
on, why not?
bro? Because people stopped listening to Skip and Stephen A. Smith a long time ago, bro. They don't hold no weight in these streets anymore. It's all about Uncle Shannon, and I'm sure he was saying the same shit. And Big Perk, and I'm sure Big Perk was saying the same thing.
Nobody cares about Perkins but you. You're his one follower on Twitter that he has.
That's funny.
Ben is to Big Perk what Perk is to LeBron, bro. Just that freaking hype man. He's back there on the mic hyping him up, bro.
I'm the MC. I'm
Ben's like Big Perk's 2 points a game were important.
I'm not saying he was the most legit player, but for real. I think it was pretty fair. Yeah, maybe it shouldn't have been in a landslide, but I do think that the right guy won. Talking to a lot of people, though, I mean, there is a lot of Lakers fans, though. There was a lot of people who felt that LeBron should have won it. There was a lot of people in the media whose votes were being criticized. Like, why does this person even have a vote? So there was a person that had AD, I believe, second team all defense.
Their credibility.
Andre Drummond on there too.
Their credibility, correct? Yeah. A lot of people.
And then after the fact that Giannis comes out and wins Defensive Player of the Year, you're kind of like, wow, they're gonna give him MVP too. So that was kind of something that was kind of strange. I mean, I'm sure it's happened before. I don't know. Maybe it hasn't, because to win Defensive Player of the Year, and MVP, okay,
for sure he did.
So it's. I mean, when you put him that high, like maybe because he's in a small market. I mean, I know they do play on national TV a lot, but you don't see as much of Giannis. So, I mean, I can't say I see him play 2-3 times a week the way we see LeBron play, maybe twice a week. So maybe, that has a lot to do with it. But I do have to agree, when you look at the numbers are there. Numbers don't lie. Somebody put a picture and sent it to me, and they said LeBron at 25 when he won the MVP, and then now Giannis at 25, and the numbers were almost identical. So it was back when LeBron was in the MVP race with Wade.
Every year. When LeBron was in it every year back in the day.
Yes, exactly. So when you compare the numbers, I mean, I get it. It's just, dude. And then my thing was, LeBron's 35 and he's doing this at 35. But then that's me being biased, because people are like, well, age doesn't matter when it comes to votes. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, and to be fair, it's usually best player on the best team. In the past couple of years, it's gone to the player with the best record in the NBA, and the Bucks did edge out the Lakers even in that. This season, obviously, the ultimate goal is the championship, bro. Giannis, obviously, everybody says he can have those as long as LeBron gets the Finals MVP, and I mean, it's a pretty good trade-off. I'm sure LeBron would rather have the Finals MVP, and he can kind of rub it in a little bit more after in that post game.
Yeah, man. I mean, I definitely see that. It's kind of like when Texas played USC and Vince Young should have gotten the Heisman, but they gave it to it to Reggie Bush, or they gave it to Reggie Bush that year. So when they beat USC in the title game, he kind of got the trophy and did like the little Heisman pose with it, kind of throwing shade, like, hey, I should have won the Heisman and the national title. So I mean, that's that's a very good point, man. I mean, maybe LeBron does that. Maybe he makes a little comment. So, but they have to win first.
Petty. He'll do it. He's King Petty.
He better, because he better throw that fucking shade, to Giannis and everybody else. But he has to beat AD, man, because AD's been balling. So,
but hey,
I mean, it's gonna be tough
for LeBron to get that title, though. Just to transition us into the next topic, for LeBron to get that title, it's looking like he's gonna have to go through the Miami Heat, right? That series 3-1. Miami takes a commanding lead last night on Tyler Hero, aka Young Bucket, aka Tres Leches.
The sniper, bro. And it was funny because the last time I was on this show, kind of segueing back to where we were at, I picked the Bucks to roll on the Heat.
Most
I
did.
picked them, yeah, and I picked them to roll, and so that pick was off.
Hey, if you wouldn't have reminded us wrong, we wouldn't have remembered. But
Yeah, but I did take the Celtics to win against the Raptors, and that did happen. But regardless of it, sticking with how the Heat have been playing, bro. I mean, I'll be the first to admit it. I mean, I'll swallow the crow because I didn't have them, doing anything. That I saw the team was very young. They had Jimmy Butler, who I felt is not elite. He's kind of like a Russell Westbrook, a Damian Lillard, kind of guy who is a star but not a superstar.
he's a Swiss
So-
Army knife, though. To his credit, like he does more than one thing. You know what I mean?
I
Like
thought he could be kind of problematic to some teams too, and I was like, I wasn't big on Butler either.
he doesn't have
Yeah.
the jumper to scare anybody, though. He doesn't have
Right.
the consistent jumper to scare anybody.
Yeah, I mean, and he can create his own shot, but you never really see him getting to the hole off the dribble, like in an isolation situation. It's always maybe off a pick and roll or maybe off a fast break. So he doesn't scare you that way. So that's why I thought that he wasn't going to bring enough. But he's been the backbone of that team with these younger guys and these rookies stepping up and hitting these crazy shots, man. The only thing that you have to worry about with the Heat is when is it going to end? No pun intended, but when is the Heat going to go out? Because they've been on fire, bro. I mean, they're shooting crazy percentages. Hero is obviously not afraid of the moment, but I mean, this is only the Eastern Conference Finals. When they get to the finals, which I think they get there, then it's going to be like, okay, oh shit, this is the Super Bowl. This is, the big event. Can you continue what you've been doing in the previous rounds? I don't think that they can, but I mean, who knows? Because I was wrong, before.
Yeah, yeah. No, they're definitely built differently, bro. Like they just have a bunch of dogs and maybe not the best shooters, but then they sprinkle in Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero. They throw
Duncan
in
Robinson shoot?
throw in some white boys, just snipers.
Bro, Damari Carroll is like, I see shooting lights out for like the other day. He had like 4 or 5 threes in the first half.
Yeah.
It's like, where did this guy come
And
from?
he plays defense as well. Damari Carroll has been pretty good for them defensively, whether it be guarding Tatum. What I saw in this past game, though, they switched to a zone, and it really kind of fucked up the Celtics, right? I
Yeah,
don't know if you all noticed.
yeah,
and
it did. And then they have
for a while,
Adebayo.
For a while, like even the Celtics would start hitting jumpers, but they would still stick to the zone because they're not going to hit them all game, and they're just making all the guys shoot jumpers and beat them that way. Instead of Jaylen Brown, Tatum, and those guys just getting to the hole and laying it up, they're going to sit back in the zone and let them beat them jump shooting. And
that's a very good point because I was watching the game the other day when it was kind of like back and forth a little bit, or the Celtics were making that run. I was like, okay, they have to run a solid play here, get to the basket, something good. And they were just putting up jumpers, bro. Yeah. Jaylen put up a jumper, he missed. And then the next time the floor, Kemba Walker put up a jumper and he missed. Tatum put up a jumper. And I was like, bro, go inside, run a pick and roll, run something. But off that zone defense, it's hard to do that. And the Celtics are good at, they have a lot of guards. They can have a lot of fast break opportunities, kind of run and gun. But in a set offense, I don't see the Celtics, doing much, and that's why they resort to jump shots, and I think that's why they've been having trouble. And they don't have anybody inside for rebound.
They don't have a big man to even throw it to and consistently like post up, right?
Exactly.
And the thing about the zone that the Heat are running, they had Iguodala and Jimmy Butler at the top of like the 2-3 zone. So, bro, those guys are about as active as it gets.
They're dogs, bro. They're dogs. They're long. They got big hands.
Exactly. So, really good job by Spoelstra. It seems like his adjustments have been a little bit better than Stevens. Even though the games have been pretty tight, they've been pretty close. Aside from that one the Celtics one win was pretty convincingly, and the Heat had one convincingly wins. But yeah, man, I think that's a wrap. I think that tomorrow the Heat just come out and end it. I think that they'll lose one game and they'll be waiting for. Let's see if the Lakers pull it off. The Nuggets just hit a 3.
It's Lakers 87, Nuggets 84 going into the fourth or start of the fourth quarter.
So you have the Heat closing it out tomorrow.
Yeah, I think the Heat close out tomorrow, man. I think that they got their foot on the neck and there's some dogs and they're just gonna finish them.
Another thing real quick to finish this Heat Celtics is after game, what was it, game 3, when like the Celtics were arguing in the locker room. You know, so if they're arguing and they're pissed off after that game, imagine how they felt after this game. You know, maybe they're just done. Maybe like emotionally, you know, they're just drained. Maybe there's some tension going on that, you know, we don't see. And maybe they're just like, hey, let's get the hell out of the bubble. You know, we're down 3-1. We don't want to be here another, you know, 3 games and then play the finals. Like, screw it. Let's just move on to next season. You know, so I mean, you never know. You never know what's going on.
Seems to be something with the chemistry after that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think it's just Marcus Smart trying to be the OG to the younger guys, and Jaylen Brown seems like a fiery guy. I mean, everybody's mad because they're losing. They had been rolling the whole playoffs, and finally they were facing some adversity. So, I mean, shouting. I mean, that happens in every locker room. I don't think it's the biggest of deals, especially when it's Marcus Smart that was doing most of the shouting. So, but yeah, man, wrap up the Celtics. I think that they're done. The Adebayo injury will be interesting. I don't know how. He was holding his wrist a lot. That same wrist that stuffed Tatum on that game-winning block. I haven't heard much about it. I haven't heard that he's even in doubt to play tomorrow. So I expect him to play tomorrow.
He should play. I just think it could be something that maybe nags at him a little bit through the series and the finals if we do see him making it through.
Yeah, and the other series, the Lakers, everybody's favorite, the Lake Show. 2-1 lead on the Denver Nuggets. Since the podcast, I mean, Anthony Davis hit that game-winning 3.
That series, I think it was a series-saving.
Could be a completely different series, man.
Yeah, man.
The Nuggets battled back and won game 3. They were up pretty convincingly. The Lakers made it interesting late in the game, but eventually the Nuggets ended up getting the 8-point win. And today is game 4. And like we said earlier, it's a 3-point game at the start of the fourth quarter. How do y'all see it playing out? How do y'all see it? The Nuggets don't go away.
No, they're not. I mean, they're a young team. They were the dark horse pick for me. I said they're going to be a problem in the playoffs. This pick and roll situation, Jokic and Murray just run it so well together. The chemistry's there. They got the shooters in MPJ. Plumlee comes off and he's, you know, getting the alleys and putting things, getting putbacks and rebounds. They're a problem. They're going to be a problem for the upcoming season as well. But the Lakers are going to finish them. The Lakers, I think, will finish them in 6.
Okay, Ron.
I mean, unfortunately, I would love for them to finish in 6. But it's just I've seen too much, man. I mean, everybody knows I'm a LeBron fan, but I've seen too much from the Nuggets. They just don't go away. And when you have the Joker hitting these Dirk Nowitzki type shots, man, it's like, what else can you do, bro? And then you have Murray, who just either he's gonna blow up the way he was doing in the last series and be dropping 50, or I mean, he's not gonna drop 50 or 60, I don't think, but he just doesn't go away. And then when you have the bench coming up, that's what's scary, you know, is you have those guys on the bench. And to me, the Lakers, if they're up by a lot, then that's an easy win. I don't know if they have enough chemistry yet, or I don't know if they have enough confidence in each other to where they can work as a team to come back the way other teams do against them. I think when they're down, it's always feed Bron, and see what he does. Or let's just try to get it to AD, That's what worries me, is when the Lakers go down, and the Nuggets are a team that you can go down against and they will keep you down.
Yeah, the Lakers bench and role players definitely play better when they're up. Like,
yes, good point.
They feel a lot more comfortable. They shoot the threes without hesitating a lot more. When it's a closer game, these guys tend to think about it and just want to get the ball into LeBron or AD's hands at all times, instead of just shooting it, without hesitating like they would earlier in the game or just leading in the game. So that's a good point.
Like if they don't want to fuck up, they're like, oh shit, like it's a tight game where we're down by 3. Like, no, like I don't want to take the shot. Let me just pass it to Bron. That way, if he messes up, it's on him. But if you're up by 8, 10, 12 points, you're like, oh, screw it. Let me just,
Yeah, exactly. No harm, no foul. So, I agree with that take. But I still think that the Lakers should take care of business. I mean, I said in 5, if they win tonight, I stick by that. If they lose tonight, I'll still say 6. I just don't think that the Nuggets have enough juice to go 7 games again, man.
Yeah, it's a very good point. I mean, obviously everybody knows they were down 3-1 and came back, and then they were down 3-1 and came back. Can you count on the Nuggets for 7 games? I think is the issue, or even 6. Just like you said, the Lakers are put together a little bit more talent wise, so they should win in a longer series. But shoot, man, I mean, it's 2020, bro. It's the bubble year. I mean, you don't know, bro. We got the Heat over here rolling through squads that nobody thought that they were gonna roll on. They're being 3-1.
Hey, I did.
You know, on that
I
stuff.
did. I had them in the
Really?
finals, bro. They were my dark horse.
Yeah.
I had them playing the Clippers. I was wrong about the Clippers. Terribly wrong. But
Everybody was wrong about the Clippers.
I gotta
bro.
take some credit for the Heat because I did have the Heat taking care of the Bucks in that.
Yeah, that was your dark horse team.
Mhm.
So
And,
Good choice, man. Good choice.
One of the things in this series that that stood out to me is the play of Kyle Kuzma. Just not seeing him play comfortable in this series at all. No big shots when he gets on, no production, just frozen.
Yeah, I mean, I think Caruso and Rondo are kind of outplaying him right now. You know, obviously Caruso's a dog. I mean, dude. I mean, if you're Kuzma and you see Caruso coming through and getting put back dunks, and I mean, that should drive you, bro. You know, and then you see Rondo working on the defense. Getting all those steals late in the game. Dropping dimes. I mean, yes, Rondo's a point guard, and Kuzma's a forward, but that should drive you to see other guys coming off the bench outplaying you. You want to be the top guy coming off the bench, and Kuzma hasn't been and that's because I was one of those guys when the Lakers were doing the whole trade, the Lonzo Ball and the Ingram trade. I was like, no, they better keep Kuzma. They better keep Kuzma because Kuzma's a baller. Hopefully they keep him. And when they kept him, I was happy. And he's just on the floor, bro. Like he's just there. Yes, yeah. I mean, he did have that big open 3 that could have tied the game last game, but so did Condavious Caldwell-Pope. They're just not hitting those timely shots. Like they made that big ass run to come back when they were down 15-16, and then KCP's open for the 3, and you're like, damn, he's gonna hit it, and it's gonna be a tie game, and here come the Lakers, whatever, and then he misses it, and it's like, okay, shoot, we got Kuzma wide open. Hesitates a little bit, but hey, he's gonna make it. We're gonna tie. Lakers are gonna win in the last 2 minutes, and then nothing. So they're just not hitting those big shots the way that say Murray did. When he did the step back, with kind of the dagger to put him up 7, and then Joker doing this Dirk Nowitzki one-legged crap. Those are just timely shots that kill runs, and the Lakers aren't making those shots right now. Well, at least they did in last game.
I mean, we all still think the Lakers should get by them, so we'll see how it plays out. But that's enough NBA, man. Let's get into the meat of this. NFL's back. We got several things going on with NFL.
We them boys.
Let's start off with that. Let's get into the Cowboys game. Let's get into that one a little bit. See how you all see it playing out as 2 Cowboys fans. There you go. The Cowboys are what, 5? 5 or 5.5 point underdogs. This coming Sunday to the Seattle Seahawks.
I'm scared.
4.5 point favorites.
Oh shoot! The line dropped, and I had seen it at 5.5.
Yeah, it was. So the Seahawks are -4.5 at home against the Cowboys Sunday, 325. What do y'all think? I mean, right now it seems like one of the hottest teams in the NFL. Not Chiefs or Ravens. It's the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah. I know Russell Wilson is +400 to win MVP. His odds came down from +700 preseason.
He's balling, bro.
9 touchdowns in 2 games. I think he has only a handful of incompletions. Well, I know y'all's secondary's a little banged up. What do you guys think?
We're all banged up.
Falcons
Justin,
game.
Go ahead, Justin. Weigh in on this, Justin.
Well, I don't think we're going to get the win. But I expect Dak not to get that late start like he did against the Falcons. I expect us to come out shooting for the touchdowns right away. I don't see none of this second half team this game because you cannot afford that this game. This ain't the Falcons, first off. So we're going to have to come out strong. We're going to have to meet them. I think our run game is going to be okay against the Seahawks. I think we can run on them. I'm just worried about Russell outperforming Dak in the end. I think this is going to come down to the fourth quarter. Cowboys kind of, I won't say we have the answer to the Seahawks, but we've been okay against the Seahawks. So, I'd like us to be within the spread, but I think the Seahawks will win by a field goal if it's going to come down to it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ron?
no, I mean, I concur to a lot of the stuff that you're saying as far as us against the Seahawks. We've always had, like, just like you came out first and said, I don't expect to win, but we always have tight games with the Seahawks. I personally think it's going to be a shootout. Our secondary is banged up, which doesn't even matter because they're trash anyway. To me, I think they've been getting beat, bro. They're getting beat like they stole something, man. I mean, and then he's one of the ones that's hurt. I think three of our DBs out of the, obviously the four are either hurt. Two are out and one's banged up.
Right.
And then you have to you have to go against Russell Wilson, who's been dropping dimes all not all season, these past 2 weeks. And then you have a monster receiver like DK Metcalf, and then Tyler Lockett. So I think the Cowboys are going to get picked apart, man. And their pass rush hasn't been there at all. So if you have no pass rush against Russell Wilson, he's going to make you look stupid when he's inside or outside the pocket. And your secondary is not there against DK in Seattle with I mean, not the 12th man because they don't have fans, but I think it's going to be a long day at the office for the Dallas defense, bro. On the flip side of the coin, I think just like what Justin said is right. The Cowboys are going to come out strong because they're going to have to come out strong. I think the offense clicks at the beginning. They get Zeke involved. I think Dak has another big game. His confidence is just has been going up and up. Obviously, he's on the franchise tag, so he has to prove this year that he's worth all the money that he wants. So he's on a mission. I think it's going to be a big offensive game, man. And I think we're going to see a lot of points. The spread's high. I think it's like 58, I think I saw, or 57, which, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, I think it's super high. I mean, I could be wrong, but I want to say I saw it in the mid to high 50s. So you're looking at like 30, at least a 27, 31 to 34, 30, kind of, kind of game. Do we get the win? No, I don't think so. And I think on y'all's show when we were doing the quick hitters, it's funny because 2-0 on y'all's show because I picked them to lose against the Rams week 1, and then I picked them to win against the Falcons. So I'm 2-0, man, on y'all's show. I believe I picked them to lose here. So unfortunately, they probably take the L. But hey, you never know. Maybe we'll get Zerline to hit another game winner.
Hopefully, Tyron Smith is back too. I know the overs are at 56.5 for the game.
There you go.
So yeah, that very high over. I expect fireworks. Also, I expect a bunch of touchdowns, just like last week. But I mean, if Matt Ryan was able to carve up the Cowboys and now they're just dealing with more injuries, I mean, I think whoever has the ball last wins. I think that, oh my God, Jamal Murray. I think that 5.5 points is too much because it's more than a field goal, and the Seahawks are just always in close games. I mean, you saw that game on Sunday night against Cam and the Patriots. 9 out of 10 times they lose in that scenario. They made the big play, kudos to them. But the Seahawks are just always in close games. Oh, down goes AD with an ankle. Uh-oh.
No. Hard, like bad?
Bad. Like he's
holding it hard.
Damn. Yeah, because the Seahawks won 35-30. So that was a high scoring game, and it was against the Patriots. So everybody's shocked right now. I'm not watching what happened.
He stepped on Millsap's foot when he landed on his jumper. I mean,
he's up now.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, he's up. Oh no, he's back down, or he's tying the shoe. He's a big ass dude. Oh, that's going to be interesting. But yeah, man, the Seahawks are always in close games. The Cowboys offense can hang with them. Like I said, I think whoever has the ball last wins. So I expect a close game, and I think that I think that the Seahawks will win. Just because the Cowboys, you all eliminated them from the playoffs, I believe, 2 years ago, first round, and you might have beat them last year if you all played. But
shit, man, when I think of the Cowboys and Seahawks, I still think of the Tony Romo botching the field goal, botching the snap, the snap, bro. Like, yes, bro. And then he drops it, and then he's running toward the goal line, and you think he's gonna make it, and then they just lay him out.
What's crazy is when you say that, I remember exactly where I was sitting,
exactly where
I was. It all comes back, bro. It all comes back.
When the Seahawks had those crappy, all gray, solid dark gray uniforms, like the old ones, they were trash. Another thing about the Cowboys Seahawks game, Yes. Another quick thing about the Cowboys and the Seahawks is not that Russell's an OG, but he kind of is an OG, and Dak's, kind of like the newer guy. So I think you might have that one-on-one matchup where Russell's in the MVP race, but Dak's always, has that mentality like, hey, don't forget about me. So Dak might want to show up, Russell, and that's what's gonna make the game even, more competitive. You're gonna have the announcers bring it up too, whoever's, broadcasting the game.
Yeah.
So I think we're in for some fireworks, man. I mean, it is the game of the week. It will be on at 3:25. So
that ain't no game of the week, bro. The prime time is game of the week, man. Let's get to the
game of the week, bro.
Let's get to the good game, bro. The Texans against the Steelers.
Oh my god!
Let's talk about some real football. Finally, we ain't playing a Super Bowl hopeful in the Chiefs or the Ravens. Fuck, man.
Why lie, bro?
Hey, bro, that's the toughest opening schedule out of any team.
That
bro.
was rough.
We talked Lamar back to
preseason,
back.
it was going to be tough.
Mahomes and Lamar back to back, and now the Steelers front seven, which I think just getting into the game. I mean, the Texans the line has gone down a lot. I know we opened at around 6. Right now, it's showing at 3.5. So the Steelers didn't look that good last week. They had to squeak out a win against Jeff Driscoll. Driscoll did air it out on them. They looked decent. The Broncos lost Sutton. They lost the quarterback as well. And, I mean, they still hung around
Drew Lock
and made it interesting. Right. Mondo's boy.
Pittsburgh also didn't look that good against the Giants.
Yeah, they didn't. It took a second half to kind of get going. But, I think that the Texans have a chance, but we're gonna have to protect Deshaun. It's gonna start with the O-line. I mean, if he gets sacked 6, 7, 8 times, we have absolutely no chance of winning. We don't have the best defense, but Big Ben tends to hold on to the ball very long to try and make good plays, and it bites him it bites him at least once a game. I'm not going to say often, but at least once a game he'll do that Big Ben thing and make a mistake. They've been playing well. I think that we can hang. I think that we're desperate.
If you're the Texans though, these past 2 weeks, going off these past 2 weeks, especially last week, where do you go for offense right now? That's their thing. They scored 16 points last week. I mean, I know they played a very good defense, but you only scored about 16 points, and if you can't run the ball, because nobody's really afraid of David Johnson. So if you can't run the ball with David Johnson, whether it's because your O-line is trash
David
or not,
Johnson can run, man. Week 1, he had 80 yards in the
But who's afraid of him, he said?
yeah, but who's
Teams
like,
are
are
not
you going to
stacking the
stack
box
the
for
box?
him.
Yeah, are you going to stack the box against? So if you're not afraid of him and you don't have that big wide receiver outside because Hopkins is gone, you're not going to be afraid of the play action. So that's why I'm asking. You being the Texans fan, where would you like to see the offense go? Do you want them to stick to the run, or do you
I want to see a scheme. I want to see some sort of
okay,
scheme.
yeah, exactly. That's like kind of what I meant. What do you want to see the Texans do offensive wise?
I want to see a scheme. I want to see us pass on first down, get 4 and 5 yards, then maybe run on second and pass again on third. I think against the Steelers, I mean, we saw what they did to Saquon. Even Melvin Gordon didn't get much on the ground. He did get in the end zone through the air, but that's a very stingy front seven. I think that they're going to be blitzing us a lot because, golly, Jamal Murray.
I know, Jamal Murray is stupid.
Bro,
what is he, just threes or what?
No, like just crazy-ass.
Falling to the floor, throws it up, and it goes in.
But like nothing but net. Like, oh, nice.
Mamadas?
Yeah, it was.
Gallo.
Straight up.
Mamadas? Gallo?
Yeah,
He's making horse shots.
Juju's also a little banged up for the Steelers. I know that he hasn't practiced. We'll see if he practices tomorrow. But I mean, they have a pretty good stable of receivers over there. Claypool scored both weeks, and Johnson did go off last week as well.
Where's Fuller at, bro?
Yeah, Fuller didn't have one target last week. He's been dealing with a hamstring now. They're saying
like always, bro.
I know. I'm out on him already as far as fantasy goes, but he wasn't on the injury report. He's supposed to play, but I don't understand how he doesn't have one target last week. It doesn't make much sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
carry.
I want to see us, even if it's short passes, bro. Like, let's just gain yards, move the sticks, and get some points because the Steelers aren't the greatest. They can be beat. They've looked suspect these last 2 weeks. Although winning, they have, you've been able to see that they are vulnerable. So, I'm hoping for the best, expecting the worst, and I'm ready for whatever. happens. You know what I mean?
I mean, just going off last week's stats. Wait, Watson was 25 for 36 with 275 yards, which is mediocre. Of course, against a good defense, but he had one TD and one pick. David Johnson had 11 carries for 34 yards, bro.
Last week.
Yeah, last week.
Yeah.
What did Cooks have?
No, nobody.
I didn't get that.
Nobody runs on the Ravens though, bro. That's the thing. Like, I mean, the Ravens have been stopped. Like, you just don't run on them. We'll
I
see.
think the Texans' path to victory this week is through Cooks. You got to get the pass game going somehow. Fuller's not your option anymore. You got to go with your guy who get 1,000 yards receiving, and then maybe that can open up some running game with Johnson. Steelers defense, if you can put up 30 points, you can beat them. You can beat them.
Yeah, but 30 points is, I mean, 30 points is a lot.
Yeah, it's not easy. But what I'm saying, that'll be it. That would be it for them.
You're asking me where our offense comes from, and then you want us to score 30.
No, I'm giving you the path to victory. I'm not saying you're going to do that.
Correct.
But
Hey,
that's
Steelers is my fantasy defense,
I don't
bro,
think we have to score 30 to win. I don't think we have to score 30.
I think you do.
You got to score more than 16 like you did last week.
I think that we can score 24 and win.
What are the overs?
Maybe
45 are the overs on that one.
Yeah, 24, 21, 45. We win.
24-23, maybe a late field goal.
It could happen.
I guess,
maybe.
or you go 0-3 and then Bill O'Brien's getting killed again.
I would want
Bill O'Brien if he loses this game midway through the season, he's done.
How? He's the GM, the owner, the team captain, the water boy.
He set himself up good.
He's gonna fire himself, Wayne.
Yeah.
Next Sunday we have the Vikings, and we're supposed to be like 5-point favorites against them. So
that's what be your first win.
It only gets easier after these 3 games, bro. It only gets
easier.
The gauntlet, bro. Y'all faced a gauntlet.
Yeah, we did. But anyways, enough with those 2 games, man. Let's I know last podcast we did a little bit of start of the week and sleeper of the week with fantasy football. All that fantasy football's back. So I kind of quick. I just wanted to get a start of the week and a sleeper of the week. I'll start with the start of the week. Start of the week. I'm going running backs with my 2 guys. I'm going Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake's been pretty, just normal the first couple of weeks. Nothing too crazy. He hasn't seen the end zone yet. He has been getting the bulk of the work, 36 carries in 2 games for 146 yards. So he's averaging a little over 70-some yards a game. He does have 4 receptions, only for 14 yards. But this week, I expect the Cardinals to be up early on the Lions. So I'm thinking that they'll be able to establish some Kenyon Drake. The Lions do have the 29th ranked rush defense. They're giving up 36 points a week to running backs. So I think that this is that Kenyon Drake blows up and shows that that's why he was drafted in, early mid-second round.
Damn, that's a lot of points to running back, bro.
36 points in 2 games. They're averaging 36 points a game, giving up to the running back, the Lions.
That's insane, bro. That's insane. And then, going on to your point, if he did have a mediocre week 1 and a mediocre week 2, then maybe he's just bound to blow up.
Yep. There's a team. Who you got? You got anybody for start of the week?
It's funny because not to go back and talk about the Cowboys, but I actually had either I think I have Dak. You picked running backs, I picked the quarterback. The reason is week 1 he only put up 17 points, but that was against the Rams. Obviously last week he had 39.8 points with those 3 rushing TDs. But Seattle averages 29.24 points to quarterbacks. And then it just goes back to Dak wanting to prove himself. And then now he has the weapons. Last year he had Cooper, Gallup would kind of show up, but now he can dump off to Zeke. He can hit CD Lamb, which he did last week. The tight end, the backup tight end, he threw a touchdown too. So that's another sleeper option for him right there. Yeah, Schultz. So he has all these targets, and he's running the ball, well. So I think he would be one of my starters of the week. The only other one, I don't know, hopefully this isn't Justin's, but it's another quarterback, Kyler Murray. He's been balling. He had 26 points week 1. He had 32 points week 2. He's going against Detroit this week, just like you said, with Drake, Ben. Detroit's 26th against quarterbacks. and they average 21.69. So you have to think that he at least puts up more than 20. Say he gets a rushing touchdown. I mean, that's 26 to 27 points. So, I mean, either Kyler Murray or Dak Prescott would be my definite starters of the week. I mean, I think you start them anyway, but I sat Watson for Joe Burrow last week, and it
and that's something
paid
that
off.
me and Roland. That's something that me and Roland talked about last week. I said on our start him, sit him, let's add Watson. He said, I mean, people draft him to start him, but you got to play matchups. Like I think this week you bench Watson again, and you start. Who did you say you started in
last week? Last week I started Burrow against Cleveland.
This week against Philly, I start Burrow and I sit Watson against the Steelers. Even though we need the win, I could see it being an ugly one, man.
Justin, what's going on over there, man?
You're missing open shots. Nuggets make it 3.
You're making me nervous.
Paul Millsap's hitting threes and shit.
What's the score? Because I'm on like the Okay, then I'm caught up because I'm watching it on the ESPN app. So
Justin, do you have a start of the week or?
Yeah, I like Miles Sanders this week against that Cincinnati defense. He got a lot of the touches in the red zone. I expect him to kind of go off against that Cincinnati defense. I think he'll be one of the main targets for the Eagles there.
All right,
Miles Sanders. All right.
And then off to our sleeper. A person this usually could be a flex option, somebody you'd flex for the week, or maybe a number 2 at a position. Like I said, I'm going with the theme of running backs. This is a guy who might be on some people's waiver wires still. Maybe not after last week, but Joshua Kelly. After all those injuries, Joshua Kelly should have been picked up. LA Chargers running back. He is the second string running back to Eckler. Yeah, in 2 games, he's got 35 attempts. So, I mean, he is a number 2, but last game he had 19 attempts. The previous game, he had double-digit attempts as well. So he is seeing looks, 124 rushing yards in those 2 games, 2 receptions for 49 yards, and he has seen the end zone once as well. So Kelly's a guy that I think that you can flex this week and get solid production. They're playing the Panthers. The Panthers ranked 30. I know I said the Lions ranked 29. The Panthers ranked 32nd against rush in rush defense.
So they're dead last.
The Lions were giving up 36 points a week to running backs. The Panthers are giving up 46 points a week.
My God. So just use all your basically flex all your RBs this week. Whoever's playing the Lions.
Yeah, there's just some teams that you got to target, man. You got to target the Lions. You got to target the Vikings pass defense. I think Corey Davis is a sleeper play this week at receiver. Janu Smith obviously isn't a sleeper anymore.
No, baby. That's we talking about sports auto pick tight end right here, boy.
Hey, do you have him in that league?
I got
him. No, I have.
Oh no, you do.
Ben has him.
I have.
Oh, okay. Well then, I got him in my other league as in auto pick.
I was gonna say I dropped Gronk and picked up Janu Smith right before he blew up week 2. So
nice.
Who's your sleeper, Ron?
Mine's super deep, bro. I'm going way deep sleeper. Maybe a little bit more for a daily fantasy. If you for the people out there who watch your podcast that do DraftKings.
Yeah.
I would say Drew Sample. He's the tight end for the Bengals. Yeah. You had Uzamoa go out last week with an injury, and he had 7 targets he was 7 of 9 with 45 yards, and he was actually second in attempts behind AJ Green. So so Burrow does look for the tight end now that he's hurt. You have this guy coming in, Drew Sample. The Eagles D gave up a touchdown. In a week 1, and then Higbee went off on the Eagles last week for 3. For 3. So the Eagles aren't very good against tight ends. Obviously, they want to showcase Burrow. They want to showcase his arm. So, I think he had did he have 60 pass attempts? So I mean, if you have this tight end that's there, I mean, go for it. Drew Sample, tight end for the Bengals, deep sleeper this year.
Hey, this has been an early season of the tight ends, man. We've seen a bunch of guys, Mo Ali Cox blow up, Schultz, Dickey, Higbee. Like, it's been the year of the tight end.
Crazy.
Jordan Reed was a crazy DraftKings play last week that a lot of people were using.
He went off,
and he went off. So
didn't Andrews go off week 1 for the
week 1 he did. But I mean, Andrews is
Baltimore?
expected to go off.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm saying tight ends have been,
Oh yeah,
know,
no, they've been producing for sure.
have
Jalen
been
Smith as well.
predominant this year.
Yeah, Justin Sleeper.
Yeah, Colts are 10.5-point favorites on the Jets, and the over/under is like 45 points in that game. So T.Y. Hilton, Paris Campbell got hurt last week. I expect some production coming up from him.
Fuck T.Y. Hilton, bro.
T.Y.
I'm still
Hilton
mad at him.
Yeah, he's not my guy, but I
He
expect
cost me my
production
shift
to-
last year. That's why.
He dropped the touchdown last week. He dropped the touchdown, like a 50-yard wide open touchdown.
Well, he'll be targeted again, so
Yeah, this is
I put him on my flex if I had him.
for sure. This is going to be the week for him to get back on track. Well, anyways, that ends up fantasy, man. We're going to wrap it up with the pick'em contest for NFL. We're against the spread on ESPN. There was already 1 week. The standings are Wally with 10 wins, Richie with 10 wins, Justin with 9, Dukes with 9, Gabe with 9, Madrid with 8, Rexa with 8, Roland with 7. I had 7. Fonz had 6. Josh had 5. And yep, that's it.
Dude, you need to let me get in on that. Where can I or anybody that's watching your podcast go? I mean, do you post a link on your Facebook? Do you post
It's on our Facebook.
Yeah, it's on our Facebook and our Twitter.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll repost it weekly that way to remind people, kind of like we do with the MMA Pick'em contest. So
For sure.
we're not just picking straight up winners. ESPN has a little thing that they have, and you could they have the spread for every game. So you're just picking against the spread. So let me get us started, and I mean, we'll give our picks here, but still, let's fill it out. I know last week I just gave my pick on the podcast, and Roland was taking them down, so I didn't actually fill out that sheet, but they are documented. But
nah, bro, if you don't fill out the sheet, it don't count, right? Just
we're gonna
it's gotta be on there. That's why that thing's there. You gotta post.
We're gonna skip up the Thursday game, even though I had the Dolphins and the plus the.
Hey, you took the tight end over 4 catches, right?
Gesicki.
Yeah, Gesicki. Did he hit because I tailed?
I'm not sure. I'm not watching.
Let me check because I have him as my starting for fantasy.
I know he had 1 in like the middle of the third, so I don't.
One reception for a touchdown, and that's it.
Well, we're skipping that. We can't skip
quarter.
that game because the podcast is being recorded while that's going on. So we're gonna start with the Bears. And
all right, go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
The Falcons are minus 3.5-point favorites against the Bears. 2-0 Bears against the 0-2 Falcons, and the Falcons are favored here at home. What do y'all think?
Falcons, easy. They're pissed, bro. And Dan Quinn is on the hot seat for his job. They're gonna come out. They're gonna roll, or maybe not roll, but I say that they cover the spread easy. So that's mine. Falcons minus 3.5.
Yeah, I'm there too. The hot seat is hot. So they better get that win.
Yeah, I agree. They got to do it, and the Bears have played some pretty weak competition the first couple weeks. I mean, the Falcons should have won last week if it wasn't for that blunder on the onside kick. So I agree. I'll go with the Falcons as well. Up next, we got the Rams against the Bills. For this one, the Bills are at home. The Rams just played over on the East Coast. Last week, they beat the Eagles, had to fly back to the West Coast, and then are flying back to the East Coast again to play the Bills on Sunday. So I know that they requested to play back-to-back East Coast games so that they could hang out in the East Coast after their game. They planned on practicing in Virginia, but due to COVID, it got declined. So they had to go back. So pretty terrible spot traveling. I know this was something Roland was all over. So I'm going to go with the Bills as well in this situation. It's not even -3, so I think the Bills can at least win by a field goal. Bills minus 2.5 for me. Both 2-0 teams, so somebody will have a loss.
The way that Josh Allen has been playing, bro, I think you just got to take the Bills just for that reason, especially them being at home. But the way that Josh Allen is playing, man, I mean, you got to – my pick is for them. All that stuff that Roland was talking to me about earlier, too, as far as, the travel from East Coast to West Coast definitely plays also. The fact that it's an early game, too. So for those reasons, I agree. Take the Bills spread.
And like Rexo is on the West Coast for us, and he says that, I mean, he wakes up and at 10 a.m. there's already football on because it's most of those East Coast teams.
It's at 9 a.m., no?
No, I believe he said 10. But it might be 9 regardless. I mean, that would be the time that the Rams would be playing at. And they're not used to that. They're used to playing later on in the day. So it is just a bad spot and a lot of travel. What do you got, Just?
I'm gonna take the Bills to cover that spread.
Okay. All right. Next up, we got the 0-2 Bengals against the 0-2 Eagles. The Eagles 6.5 point favorites in this game.
This one,
How do y'all see it? Ron, I'll let you start.
Who's up?
Ron,
Me?
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, my bad. It cut off. I'm sticking with the Bengals, man. I mean, I'm a big fan of Burrow. Even when he was in college, the guy can just flat out win. The guy gives you a chance to win. And all those points last week against Cleveland, I was all over that. I think I bought it up to 7 to be on the safe side. But you're giving them points again against an 0-2 Eagles team, which isn't very solid. Carson Wentz is hit or miss. He's kind of hurt. He's kind of banged up. I think you just have to keep riding the Bengals. I mean, they have a solid team. Mixon's in the backfield. You still have AJ Green. Burrow's mobile in the pocket. I think he's already had a rushing TD this year. So I mean, I think it's too many points. If you can buy it up to 7 again, I mean, I would, or maybe even in a teaser. But sticking to the script, Bengals, man, Bengals against the spread.
All right, Justin.
I like that too. This is one of those games that I wouldn't feel comfortable betting on personally, but for the sake of making the pick now, I'm going to go with the Bengals covering that spread.
All right, for the sake of being different and the fact that it's just weird that the Eagles are this big of favorites, as terrible as they've looked.
Right.
They're back at home, and I think that if they don't win this game, they're in big, big trouble. So I'm going to go with
is in the hot seat if they don't win.
I'm going to go with the Eagles and the 6.5.
It's a lot of points, but
yeah. Up next, I mean, it's a touchdown. They should win.
This is the spread I don't understand. This next game.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes when you don't understand it, and they know more than us, so you just
there's a freaking reason for it. What is it? Diego, little Diego. Shout out to Diego DeMarchi. He calls it trap. Trap what is the word? Yeah, trap game, something like that.
It's Washington football team with a 1-1 record against the Cleveland football team with a 1-1 record. The Browns are favored by 6.5. Weird line. I think the Redskins have been overachieving. The Browns do have a good front seven to stop the Washington run and hopefully make them pass, get Terry McLaurin some points. But I'm going to go with the Browns in the 6.5.
Up next, same man. Not to just keep everybody. I feel like we're all picking the same guys, but I like the Browns. They came out in a must-win against Cincinnati last week. The offense might be clicking. You finally got Odell the ball. Kareem Hunt got involved. You do have Nick Chubb back there. Maybe this is a time where they kind of flip the switch and all that talent on offense kind of starts clicking. So just for the sake of the pick, give me the Browns. And Baker's been hearing all that crap that they've been talking about him, man. Putting him down and that he's trash and he's not the way to go and all this stuff. So at some point you just have to ball out, and I think this is a good opportunity for them.
Yeah, against the Washington football team is a good time to ball out.
Yeah, with a team with no name.
I'll take the Browns too. I'm just not comfortable with 6.5, but I think I think I'll take them. I wouldn't bet on this one. Just 6.5 is not good enough for me.
Mm-hmm. All right,
3, 4.5, maybe.
The next one, we got the Tennessee Titans, the 2-0 Tennessee Titans going to the 0-2 Minnesota Vikings. The Titans are -2.5. I mean, the Titans have been rolling, and Derrick Henry hasn't even gotten going. I think that this week Derrick Henry finds the end zone finally, and the Titans keep winning. And I mean, 2.5, they'll win by a field goal. Give me the Titans.
Same. This is more of a pick against the Vikings, though. I've never ever been a fan of Kirk Cousins. I think the guy's extremely overrated. You have Thielen there. He went off week 1. I think he got shut down last week. Cooks went off week 1. I don't know if he got kind of hurt.
He got in the end zone last week again.
Okay, but I mean, he
Well,
hasn't.
Kirk Cousins hasn't looked good, man, at all.
Yeah, I mean, to me, just to kind of keep it short, this is just more of a pick against the Vikings and them not being a very very good team, and Tennessee being not great, but a good enough team to cover the spread, which is anything under 3 with the Titans. Get a late field goal or
Almost like win.
Yeah, I mean they could be down by 3, then they score a touchdown at the end, to win, by 4, something, or by 3. So
Yeah, I
give me
think
the
we have
Titans.
a big week for Henry this week.
Mhm.
Justin?
Yep, Titans. I think Titans win by a touchdown.
All right, this next one, we got the 2-0 Las Vegas Raiders against the 1-1 New England Patriots.
Gruden, baby, Gruden.
The Patriots favored by 6.5, and that's a lot also. But I know that Bill Belichick, off of a loss, is pretty much like money.
Mhm.
But man, I really like what Vegas is doing. I like the way that they
I
play.
like Vegas defense.
I don't necessarily like their defense, but I do like the way that they just move the ball. I like that they feed Jacobs and they feed Waller. They don't bullshit giving the ball to other dudes. They know who they have to give the ball to. And I'm just gonna keep riding the wave with the Raiders. I need to pick some underdogs, and at 6.5 points, I could see the Patriots winning maybe by 3 or 4 points.
I mean, it sounds like we're all on the same page, man, on every pick. But the Raiders impressed the shit out of me last week, man. And Derek Carr's, Carr's spinning it, bro. He's spinning it, and Waller came up huge. The running game's there. Gruden looks like he finally has the environment that he wants around the team, and they're just clicking, bro. Like they've always kind of had the pieces last year, the year before, and you expected a lot. AB went and it didn't work out. So I just think that they're gonna win. I think that they cover the spread, and Vegas keeps on rolling.
You think they win?
Roll the dice
up?
for Vegas. Just based off what I saw last week, I mean, how could you not take a chance, man?
Yeah, they're a pretty big dog, and I think that they're a live one. Justin, who you got?
Yeah, I'm sorry, and go, Justin, go ahead.
Just real quick, Patriots winning, but they don't cover the spread.
Okay.
I don't know, man. I don't think the Patriots are strong, but I just think that they have an off week, and then you're gonna hear all that stuff about Cam and Belichick and drama, man. Mark my words. Yeah, man. I think that the Pats lose, and then you kind of just start hearing the little bickerments, like, hey, maybe Cam isn't the guy, and all this shit.
The novella begins.
Yes, bro. Yes. And then Brady's gonna win, and then it's all gonna be like, all that shit.
All right, up next, we got the San Francisco 49ers 1-1 at the New York Giants. The Niners are minus 4.5 point favorites against the Giants. The 49ers were another West Coast team that had back-to-back East Coast trips. They played the Jets last week in this field at MetLife. They were allowed to stick around due to plane issues, supposedly. But, I mean, they had a bunch of injuries. I think that they just felt sorry for them. I know the players were even concerned about going out and playing on the same field, just seeing all their other teammates get injured the week prior. I think I like what the Giants are going to be able to do without Barkley and having to force feed him. I think that if they're just able to sling it, they got Golden Tate, they got Slayton, they have some options, they have Evan Ingram. I do like Daniel Jones. The Niners secondary is banged up. Give me the 4.5 with the Giants.
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't really care for this game, so it's even hard for me to pick. But I'll just make I'll just make a quick decision. The Giants kind of stick around. I think so. It's because I just think it's gonna be a shit game. There's not gonna be a lot of offense. It's gonna be crappy. It's gonna be sloppy. And usually when there are games like that, it's usually 3 points, 4 points, maybe a field goals. I mean, it could be like a 10-7 game going in a half, and you know what I mean. I think it's just gonna be an ugly, sloppy game, and those games tend to be close games. So you want to go with a team that's against the spread in those games. So give me the Giants and the points.
Give me the Niners by a touchdown on this one.
Okay. Up next, the Houston Texans at 0-2 against the 2-0 Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers minus 3.5. We kind of went over this earlier. I'm going to go with the Texans and the points. Just desperation mode. I Like there's the Steelers are vulnerable in certain areas. They just Texans got to stick to some sort of scheme and be consistent with it. So give me the Texans.
I'm gonna go with the Steelers, but with a little bit of hook here. So if you can buy the point to 3, I would. I know it's pick'em, so that's it's going against the rules, but I would. Or you never know. Maybe before game time it drops to 3. So if you can get it at 3, I would. But I'm still gonna go with Steelers minus 3.5 anyway.
All right, Justin.
I texted you this morning, Ben. I think Texans can get this one, so I have the Texans winning this game. Taking the Texans.
All right, the next
one.
That
was another thing, real quick. I mean, do you guys think that Texans money line is a play here, real quick?
I'd play it.
Yeah,
I mean, I mean, it's gonna be there's gonna be a lot of talk if it's 0-3.
Mm-hmm.
The Texans have started 0-4 and made the playoffs this year. An extra team gets added, but the division does look a little bit tougher with the Colts and the Titans this year. So we got to win this one. And speaking of the Colts, the Jets traveling to the Colts, 0-2 Jets. Missing everybody, pretty hurt against the Indianapolis Colts, 1-1. The Colts minus 10.5 point favorites. Pretty crazy for NFL to see a double-digit favorite like that, and especially so early in the season. But the Jets are terrible, so I'm just going to take the Colts in a route.
Damn,
sorry guys, I got
10.5.
Yeah, 10.5. Who do y'all got?
Jets are terrible.
Sorry guys,
Darnold's terrible.
I thought I was gonna have to move real quick, but I'm good.
All right, we're almost done.
Give me the Colts over 10.5.
All right, Ron.
My bad. What was it again? The Colts
minus
Colts
10
and Jets 10.5 on the
against the Jets.
Colts.
Man, I just think any game this year that's too much of a spread. So give me the points on this one.
Yeah,
I think just 10.5 is just
usually
it's just way too high.
The Jets are just trash, man. But I feel you. That is a lot of points. All right, up next, Panthers traveling to the Chargers. 0-2 Panthers, 1-1 Chargers. We saw Herbert is officially going to be starting this game. 7.5 point favorites, the Chargers, with a rookie making his second start. That's a crazy line. No McCaffrey for the Panthers, but that's a crazy line. It's more than
looked okay against those Chiefs for a while.
No, they did, but I mean, I don't think the Chiefs even expected Herbert to be the starter, and Tyrod Taylor can't throw a ball worth a damn. Herbert is competent. They might do it with the run game, but 7.5 is a lot. Give me the Panthers plus 7.5.
Cool. Yeah. Guys, unfortunately, man, I'm gonna have to cut it short here. I gotta go. Something came up, but thank you for having me on the show again.
Sure.
I appreciate it. I mean, dude, y'all's podcast is sick. I love listening to it all the time.
And where can
I
they
spread
find
the word.
So. Picks, Ron? Where can they find?
Yeah, my bad. Let me just plug this real quick. I got 2 plugs real quick. PBT real quick. My dad's show on YouTube. It's he does it Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays. Usually, at least last week, I've been doing like a little recap, like a little sports recap on Tuesdays at 8:30. It's hashtag PBT on YouTube. So if you guys don't mind subscribing, I do a little recap, and I'm gonna probably try to do some sports picks. Lines. Things like that. Probably have a couple contests on there. Give away prizes. So Tuesdays, hashtag PBT on YouTube, and then we also gotta shout out the boy. The Denver Bronco fan, Dukes, and his what is I don't know why I'm going. Yeah, Texas Craft Reviews, man. Big shout out to Duke. So subscribe. PBT, subscribe to Texas Craft Reviews. Thank you to We Talking About Sports for having me on the podcast, man. It's always a great time. Next time, I want to have
Thanks for joining us, bro. I told
man.
you pretty short notice. I hit you up this morning.
Hey, Ron.
Yo.
It's what a Tetera Tuesdays, and what is it on Thursdays?
Yeah, it's Tetera Tuesdays at 6. Thursdays he has like a little flashback show. Plays like old school music. Brings up wrestling and like toys and stuff like that.
Bro.
Dude, thank you, bro. And then Saturdays, sometimes I'll jump on Saturdays because it's a Saturday Night Live party. So we just go off listening to music. Answering questions, playing some games. So man, whenever you guys want to, hop on, I mean, you guys let me on your show whenever y'all want to cruise by the studios, man, come by. I know Justin, you live here, in the Valley. So, I mean, we would love to have you, Ben, whenever you're down, we'll go throw on a little sports segment, man. So, thank you
For
guys
sure.
again.
Appreciate you, bro.
You guys are awesome.
Dope.
Thanks,
bro.
Ron.
All right, man. I'm out. Thank you.
All right, man.
All right, Just let's finish rounding up these NFL lines real quick. We got like 4 games left.
Let's get them quick.
Yeah, Panthers and Chargers. Who did you have? The 7.5 with the Chargers, or are you going Panthers?
Yeah, you know what? The thing is with rookie quarterbacks and quarterbacks that the league hasn't figured out, they tend to be hot early. And I think the Panthers won't have the playbook on them, and they'll cover that 7.5 without McCaffrey.
All right, up next, the 1-1 Dallas Cowboys against the 2-0 Seahawks. Seahawks minus 4.5. We talked about this one earlier. I expect a field goal game, so give me the Cowboys plus 4.5.
Same thing, field goal game. Whoever has the ball last. That's what it's going to come down to.
All right. Up next, the 1-1 Tampa Bay Buccaneers travel to the Denver Broncos, 0-2. The Bucs are minus 5.5. Driscoll did have a good day last week. I expect the Bucs to get on track, start rolling here. The Bucs by 7-10.
I got the Bucs settling in a little more this week, getting a little more comfortable. Fournette getting a little more touches. We got the Bucs by 10 points here.
All right. And up next, the 0-2 Detroit Lions traveling to the 2-0 Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals minus 5.5. This one is one of my favorite games of the slate that day. We'll be on at the same time as the Cowboys game, so maybe get some red zone action on this one. But I like the Cards with the 5.5 here. I think they're rolling, man. They know what they're doing over there. They seem to be clicking Hopkins and Kyler Murray. I expect a big game from Drake this week and running out that clock when they have that 10, 14-point lead in the fourth quarter. So give me the Cardinals minus 5.5.
I'll take the Cardinals minus 5.5, and I feel comfortable enough that I would make a play on this game. I really think the Cardinals will win. The Lions and Patricia and that losing streak is going to continue.
Yeah. And Sunday Night Football, we got Green Bay 2-0 against New Orleans Saints 1-1. The Saints are minus 3.5-point favorites. I know that Devontae Adams is questionable for this game. I believe he's on the injury report. I mean, if he plays, I like the 3.5 with the Packers because I just do not like Breeze, man. But if he doesn't play, then I like the Saints. So I'm just going to go with the safe thing that he doesn't play. The Saints are coming off a pretty embarrassing loss at home. This is another home game for them. So give me the Saints minus the 3.5.
I'm going to go with the Packers actually winning this game, so give me the Packers.
Okay, and the last one's the Monday Nighter. It's the Ravens.
This is a treat right here.
I believe 2.5-point favorites against the
3.5.
3.5-point favorites against the Chiefs. Yeah, man, I like the Ravens to run the ball and keep Mahomes in that offense off the field, kind of like they did to Watson and the Texans. Not that it would have mattered much if Watson was on the field because our offense wasn't doing much, but they really play that time of possession game and milk it. So they are a team that can keep Mahomes on the sideline and off the field. Give me the Ravens. Give me the Ravens to win by a TD.
I'm going to take the Ravens as well.
All right. And that wraps up the pick'em. My favorite play, I know last week Roland and I both gave a play. The teaser ended up coming in with the Cardinals and the Chiefs. And Roland, the Bills gave up a late touchdown. And that backdoor, they ended up getting backdoored. So it was 1-1. This week, Roland couldn't be with us today, but he's going back to the well with the Bills again. Really I think he likes the situation with that whole travel and the Rams having to go East Coast twice in pretty much 8 days. So he's going with the Bills minus 2.5. And for me, my favorite one is the Cards at 5.5.
With you with the Cards.
That's what I like. I expect the Cards, like we said, to keep rolling. So Bills minus 2.5, right?
Yeah, minus 2.5 Bills is what he said was his lock.
Yeah, and I like the Cards minus 5.5. So, yeah, man, that wraps up this podcast, episode 21, the primetime podcast. Dion's 21. It was nice having guests, man. We had Ryan on for
Shout out
UFC.
Ryan and Ron, man, appreciate
Both of them
coming on.
joining us on short notice too. I hit them both up this morning. Dope with them to join us. It was cool chopping it up. UFC, NBA, and NFL. Not much baseball talk. The season did fly by. It wasn't very good for our Astros, but hey, man, look, I'm still repping, baby. Rockets lose, I'm repping. Astros lose, I'm repping. That's the way it is. Justin, anything you want to say before you get out of here? Where are you going to watch the fights this weekend?
I'm gonna be watching them here with my pops. He's excited about this. You know, UFC's not his favorite sport, but when he gets a fight like this, he gets hyped.
Who does
He's been
he
talking
like?
about
Does he
it.
like Costa or Izzy?
He likes Costa. Yeah, he does.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be watching with him.
Dope. I'm gonna be going up to my uncle's in Buda. He hit me up for the good fights. He'll hit me up. We're gonna barbecue and watch the fights there.
The barbecue king on Saturday is you, man.
Hey, a little bit of golf Saturday afternoon around noon, and then barbecue at night for the UFC fights, bro. It's gonna be a good weekend. Just gotta get through work tomorrow, baby. Just gotta get through work tomorrow.
You know, it's gonna be a good Friday for me. Lakers up 3-1 now, so
congrats. They should close it up 5 games, like we said. Richie's been saying Lakers in 5 every series, man.
Well, then Richie's my new best friend, so
you and Richie been getting along. Wally and Richie been getting along. All Lakers fans just stick together, it seems like. But yeah, all right, Just. Well, good episode, man.
All right, man. Take it easy. Enjoy your Saturday. And We Talk About Sports is out.
Yes, sir.
I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice. Not a game, not a game.
Me. Bam, bam. Me, man.
Not a game.
Slap that like she scored 30.
We talking about sports. I mean, what we even talking about, man? We talking about sports here.